My house, my rules. I'm starting the conversation. Let's talk about the cool parent trap. Sarah has a TikTok, a Snapchat, and Instagram. Her parents are totally fine with it. You're just not as cool as they are. Oh, buddy. What? Yeah, that's right. This is just so unfair. Wait, I can't stand it here. Cooler, huh? But they're just so much cooler than you. Sarah's parents let her do this. Johnny's parents let him do that. What do? We can't do anything. We can't do anything. That comes from a very, very simple place. The rules and guidelines of our home are often dictated by the experiences of our past. I will never sound smarter than I just did, ever. But yeah, we have rules in our house because we've gone through some stuff. I know that there are rules in my house right now, today, that my daughter needs to follow, or guidelines that she needs to adopt because I went through some stuff as a kid. We don't have to get into the nitty to the gritty or the dirty of the details, but I think you guys get what I'm talking about. We don't negotiate with our kids about this. These are things that we've got guardrails in place for because we went through it, and not in such a good way a lot of times. So we've got to be okay standing 10 toes down on our values, because being cool is not always the same as being right. But the fact that we have different cultures, different influences, different guidelines, and different rules in each of our houses, this is one of the things that makes community so great. Let's be real. Some of us are more traditional, and some of us are raising feral children by the law of the jungle, and we will just let nature sort out what happens with them. And that's great, because there's room for all of us to grow, and for some of us to play and dig. And yeah, that's the thing that makes community so great. We can grow and learn from each other, but it doesn't mean that we have to compromise the things that are very important to us. Setting up rules is like setting up guidelines, things that we hope will stick later on in life. Our job as dads is to teach our kids how to think. Use that noodle, your noggin, your brains, your smarts. Our job is to teach them how to think. I will go to battle with an 8-year-old about a rule she doesn't like. I'm willing to be the mean parent. I'm okay with that because I'm doing it for her. She'll understand later. Will she understand later? One of the best reasons to have the rules that we have in our homes is to set up guidelines for their life. I keep on saying the word guidelines because it's so important. We need them to be able to make the decisions for themselves when they leave. That's why we are teaching them to think critically about the things in their lives. We can't prepare them for every situation that's going to come at them, but if we can give them a couple of guidelines, let them understand how to put things together, how to spot things that may not be okay. And just to understand that the guidelines, that the guidelines are there for a reason. I mean, look, yeah, it's like Legos, baby. You don't need to use the instructions. I just gave half of my audience a heart attack. But you will be limited by the number and type of blocks that you have. You can build anything you want. It doesn't always have to end up as the Death Star. You can be okay. Use the instructions if you want to. Catch your breath. But that's not what the house guidelines are necessarily supposed to do, because they're not always going to apply in every single situation. But guidelines, oh man, guidelines will show them how to think and what to look for. Okay. Let's stick with Legos. Some families build differently. Some families use all of the instructions. Some people use fewer pieces. Some families combine pieces from different sets and scramble them all up and make some kind of really cool, amazing super thing. Really cool, amazing super thing? That's the best that I could come up with? I need some guidelines for the way I talk. Now, what happens after this? Once they know how to think, they can't wear dad as a backpack everywhere they go for the rest of their life, right? So what happens? How do we encourage them to think critically and to go out and face this world that they're so curious about? Well, we gotta start letting them have a little bit of distance, but stay close enough. Stay close enough to see what's going on. As they get older, as they grow, as they learn how to think critically, that distance can continue to extend and extend and extend and extend. And you have to do the math to make sure that by the time they reach the horizon, you've given them everything that you can, and that they know the way back home. You understand what I'm saying? So a big thing that's got to happen in the in-between time as they are approaching that far distant horizon is we got to be okay saying no. No. As dads, we have to own that no is a complete sentence. No. Period. And we have to stand on it, and we got to be okay with it. We have to be okay with the backlash from it. Why? Because the backlash that could come from being too permissive in some situations or not showing our kid how to be prepared, the backlash from that could be a lot worse than an 8-year-old yelling that you are the absolute worst dad and that Sarah's dad is so much cooler. I can't stand it! I hate Sarah's dad. These guidelines that we put in our kids' life are just about helping them think critically about what they share, who they trust, when to wait, and what to do when they can't. Our different households, our different kids, are going to be on different paths, but different rules, different guidelines, different cultures make our community stronger. So keep raising your feral jungle children. Do what you got to do. And I want you guys, as the holders of no, to be okay being uncool, because it's better than being unwise. Bars. So no, you can't have TikTok because Sarah has TikTok. And it's okay if that makes me uncool, because my job isn't to be cool. It's to keep you safe until you reach your own horizon. I know you agree with me. Go get to dadding. I'm JJ. I'm your friend. Thank you so much for hanging with us today. If you're into real dad talk, we ain't doing pretend over here. So if you like the real deal, hit that thumbs up. And if you want to join the squad, go ahead and click subscribe. Hit like and subscribe. Isn't that what you're supposed to say? Smash that like button. We're going to be doing big hitter videos on Mondays, some special shorts on Thursdays and Saturdays. Is that the whole thing? Yeah, that's the whole thing. This is all about real. Again, I'm JJ. I'm your friend, and I just want to say thanks. Check out some classic videos right over here.